Hey everyone, it's Chris and welcome back to The Ridge. So this is the Predator 2500 inverter generator, and at only 46 pounds, it seems that this generator has a lot to offer. But the real question is, will it actually start easy when the Appalachian snow machine kicks on and the power goes out? Stick around, we're firing up for the first time to see just how easy it is to run. And, is it all it's cracked up to be? Is it hard to start? Is it even worth the money? Stick around to find out. Join us!
Sweet Maple Ridge Farms. Come on down, everybody. Go!
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing, all that good stuff. And a big thank you to our junior, mid, and especially our OG Maplers who help continue to take our community to the next level. Now, this is a Harbor Freight Predator. This is a 2500 model. That's the max starting watts. This is 2000 running watts. We paid $629 for this on October 26th, 2025. We did have a coupon, so including tax, it came in right at around $570. Now, the reason we bought this is because you all know how much we hated our Furman generator that we had on our deck. The reason why we kept it on our deck because it was too big and bulky and heavy to move anywhere else. So that's where it sat. We initially put it there, and that's where it sat for 3 years. And yesterday, we took it back to Costco. We will have a video on that. We took it back to Costco. Because Costco is amazing, this is not an ad. Because Costco is amazing, they took it back. So we got this. I'm going to be able to take this down in the woods. We're going to be able to plug all kinds of stuff into this when our power goes out here at Sweet Maple Ridge, which it does quite frequently. So that's why this is not only important for being able to remain productive out in the woods and all that stuff, but when we need our the electric to work in our house, we need the electric to work. So this thing is going to run our pellet stove and a lot of other stuff. So let's get to unboxing this thing. All right. You have your warnings, have our quick start guide, and our other guide. A tool pouch, oil filler, very nicely packed in here. Okay, lift this out of here. Not heavy, easily maneuverable. All right, so let's look at this stuff. So we got the tool pouch here. So it comes with a DC connection for a battery. Looks like spark plug tool, and then a couple other tools here. Then open the access panel on the side. We want to remove the oil fill plug. We're going to have to fill this with oil, which we're going to do. And then we're going to put that up, and then, hey, we're going to get this thing started. There's a fuel filter in here. Next, we are going to open the access panel. All right, and so next we're gonna add some oil in here. It doesn't say what kind of oil, so we're gonna add what we got. All right, so I got this oil syringe thing off of Amazon, which I think is gonna be really helpful to, add oil to this thing and also change oil. We have a lot of engines that are just like this, and they're kind of small, so I think this thing is really going to help. So the jury's going to be out on that, but anyway, it says to fill this up with oil till the bottom edge of the fill hole. So definitely makes it easier to fill. I think it's going to make it really easy to change the oil in this thing too. All right, we got the oil filled up in here, and I still managed to make a little bit of a mess despite the whole syringe thing. Anyway, next thing we're going to do is check the air filter here. You're going to make sure that it has lubrication on it. Now, I can feel it here. It doesn't. So many YouTube channels say that we need to make sure this thing is adequately lubricated to make sure that fine particles aren't getting sucked in. So we're going to do that. Okay, got a plastic bag here. Put a little bit of oil in this. We're going to take this, Put it in there. Now, there is some oil in this, but it was only on the bottom. And what we're going to do is just make sure that this has oil kind of all over it. Make sure that it doesn't suck anything bad up in there. I think this is good to go. Put this back in place. And we're going to put the oil dipstick back on here. Now we're going to put the cover back on. But what we're going to do here is we're going to start it. We're going to let it run for a little while, and then we're going to change the oil. We're going to put fresh oil in it. It's going to be ready to go. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We really appreciate it. All right, we'll just do a quick overview on this thing. We have our throttle here, start, run, and off. We have the reset. We have the DC plug here. And these are really nice. They're all rubberized to keep the weather out, which would be nice because I plan on taking this down to the build site of our Christmas cabin, and I'm going to be using this to run saws and stuff like that. I have a USB ports here, the new one and then the older, which this was something big for us. Carbon monoxide safety shutoff, so it has that built in. It's called the ESC throttle, the economy switch, and that's in the off position right now. And then, of course, we have our 20 amp, 120 volt outlets here, and then the reset button. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing fired up. So what it says first to do is make sure that the ESC is on the off position. Turn the combination switch to the start position. So we're going to remove this from the garage, and we're going to do that. Then we're going to grip the starter handle of the engine loosely and pull it slowly several times to allow the gasoline to flow into the engine's carburetor. Then we're going to pull the starter handle gently until resistance is felt, and then we're going to allow the cable to retract fully and then pull it quickly. Then we're going to repeat that until the engine starts. We're not going to let that starter handle snap back against the housing. We are going to hold it as it recoils so that it does not hit the housing. And also, of course, you want to make sure to check the engine oil, but we just filled it up so we know it's good. I do want to point out that this thing does have low engine oil protection. And so if the engine does not start, they say you should check the engine oil level because the engine is not going to start with low or no oil. It also points out that when you go to start this thing initially, you do not want to have a load on it. So we're going to take this thing outside and we're going to start it for the first time. How many pulls is it going to take? Put your guess down in the comments. All right, guys, first start. We're going to pull this just a couple times just to get, whoop. It literally started just like that. Couldn't even help it. All right, we're off. Let's try this again. Maybe we let it, little smoke came out there. It literally started on the second pull, and I wasn't even trying to start it. I'm just trying to get gas in the carburetor, but that's how easy this thing started. Okay, so guys, right now the ESC is off. So the engine isn't modulating itself based upon the load. Of course, there's no load on this thing right now. So it's just running as it would normally run at idle. But if I turn the ESC on, listen to what happens. Okay. I guess that's not good, huh? Okay, so this thing does have a little bit of a mind of its own. It just shut off, but we're back on now. I put it back into the start position, the choke position. I pulled it a couple times and it started right back up. So guys, I think instead of messing around with this thing right now, let's just let it run. All right guys, so it's warmed up. It still sounds really good. It's quiet. And I'm gonna turn the ESC on so that the engine will wind down. Hopefully it doesn't quit like it just did. So here we go. So the engine did wind down. It sounds good. It is super, super quiet. So far, I'm impressed. All right, so I'm gonna demonstrate how the ESC runs to just kind of maintain a low RPM and a low fuel consumption. So we have the skill saw hooked up to this. The ESC is on, so you can hear how quiet it is right now. So let's start the skill saw and you'll hear the engine ramp up to meet that demand. So that's a clear benefit over just regular generators that don't have that option. So we had the Predator run for 10 to 15 minutes and we had a load from the circular saw on it. I'm going to go ahead and change the oil now. Now the manual doesn't mention doing this right away, but here's the thing, you know, when you have a engine running for the first time, there's going to be metal shavings that are going to be in the oil and inside the engine from the manufacturing process. So I'm going to use this syringe here to get the oil out, and because I have it, I'm going to go ahead and refill this with some fresh and clean oil. Now, when I do suck this oil out of here, there is metal shavings, although you won't be able to see them, but it's just a little bit of insurance to make sure that this thing starts, and I think it's going to pay dividends down the road. Okay, so that's the oil that came out of it after the initial run. It's not bad, but we're going to put some fresh oil in this thing, and it's going to be ready to rock. Honestly, this thing is great. I highly recommend it. I got this off of Amazon, and yeah, this thing is great. So anyway, guys, I am impressed so far. It's quiet, smooth, no vibration at all. We paid $6.29 for this. Like I said, if you can pick up a 15% coupon at Harbor Freight, which they give away quite frequently, and maybe even if you sign up for their program, they might send you a coupon. But for under $600, this might be one of the better purchases we've made in quite some time. I'm going to use this thing to build a Christmas cabin, and we are really excited about that. All right, guys, we're going to do a Will It Run series for our next video. So we're just going to plug random stuff that we think we might need during a power outage and see if this 2500 Predator super quiet inverter generator can power that stuff. So anyway, guys, that's it. That's the video. If you want to be an OG Mapler like these amazing folks listed here, and you want to continue learning how to rely less and create more from high atop the Allegheny Plateau, please like and subscribe. And guys, we'll see you next time out on the ridge.